up, YouTube? It's Derek McCutchew, the founder and CEO of Panther Magazine, and thanks for checking out the Panther Magazine YouTube channel. One thing that's grown within the Panther platform community is circle track racing. The state of New Hampshire, which is about an hour from the Panther Magazine office here in Massachusetts, has maybe 3 or 4 speedways off the top of my brain. My friend Sebastian, who you may have seen on the Panther Magazine YouTube channel, he races his 2008 Crown Victoria competitively up in New Hampshire often. I think the season just ended this past weekend. I've been to 2 races up in New Hampshire. I went to one in the fall of 2024, and then I've been to one this summer of 2025. Both of those videos can be found here on the Panther Magazine YouTube channel. Those races are a really great time, and it's really impressive how well they drive these Panther cars on the track, considering how big they are and how heavy they are compared to smaller cars. You may or may not be wondering, how did I even come across the Crown Vic class, not only here in New England, but all around the United States? When it comes to racing outside of New England, California has a huge racing series called Spec P71. Chris Adams, who runs ADTR Performance, won one of their biggest races last year in 2024. There's also Spec Panther based out of Ohio. Holly Goddard and Rick Holback run Spec Panther. The Panther Magazine has a Instagram live posted here on the YouTube channel where we talk to those guys a little bit about what they do and how they got into racing and even how to race in their series. I'll link that Instagram live in this video. My friend Hoonwork Racing raced in Spec Panther last year. He drove from Queens, New York City to Ohio in his 2003 Grand Marquis. He was hitting turns at like 60 miles an hour and reached a top speed of like 112, and he did really well. A clip of that race that Hoonwork raced in is also here on the Panther Magazine YouTube channel as well, and I'll link it in this video. We can't forget about Cletus McFarland, who has his Bristol races, where he invites all the biggest YouTube automotive guys to race Crown Vics, including Chris Fix, who's also on the cover of one of the issues of Panther Magazine. So I get thousands of messages on the Panther Magazine Instagram account, and there was one point I got a message from my friend Sebastian, who I just mentioned, and it sat in my request folder for about a week before I had a chance to respond to it. I didn't know Sebastian prior to his message, so this was like a brand new interaction with him. He informed me about the racing that goes on up in New Hampshire, that he races his Crown Vic often, and invited me to a race, which led to the race that I went to last year. That first race that I went to was great. It was freezing cold though, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Sebastian got 2nd or 3rd. He did really well though, and I think there was about 15 Crown Vics that race, so he did really good. And it was freezing cold, but it was really cool to see the Crown Vics race in person for the first time. Now, if you've seen any of the posts that I've made at the races I went to, the Crown Vics are not street legal at all. They don't have tail lights, they don't have headlights, and the inside's usually gutted. So these guys have to put their Crown Vic on a trailer, their own trailer, attached to their truck, and trailer their Crown Vic to the racetrack. There's usually 2 or 3 races that go on in a day. The first race is usually like 8 laps. The first 2, and I believe the 3rd one is like 10 laps. So it's a good amount of racing, especially in the Crown Vic. I've always been into racing. It wasn't always my primary sport, but now that I'm really getting into it, I'm still learning a lot about it. There is a point system, and I'm not really sure how the point system works exactly still. I think it goes by how well you do in other races. I think that's what determines your points, which determines where you start in a race. I could be wrong, but I think that's how it works. I'm still learning it. So there is a point system, and that's kind of how they base how they line up at the beginning of a race. A lot of these races do have sponsors as well. Their car is usually covered with stickers from the sponsors or decals. Some of these guys and women start their own motorsports team, and they get local sponsors for stuff here and there. But everything else is kind of on them. They do get sponsors. I remember I went to a race this past summer, and Greg Provost, hopefully I pronounced his last name right. They was doing the practice laps, and I noticed that his car was just stiff. It wasn't, I think it was like turn 1, and his car was just stiff, and it went right into the wall. The front suspension went bad on him, and somehow they found a control arm and was able to put it on, and he was able to continue the races. So I'm not sure if that's a sponsor situation or they really just figured it out. Either way, it's pretty cool that they figured it out and got back on the track. But a lot of these races are sponsored, which is really cool. As you may have seen from the previous video, I was just in Providence, Rhode Island last night for a Panther platform meet. It's pretty local to where I'm at in Massachusetts, about an hour and some change. And when the night ended, we went to Raising Cane's. My first time having Raising Cane's. It was really good. But that was in Seekonk, Mass, which is also where Seekonk Speedway is. Seekonk Speedway is a really good speedway. I haven't been able to check it out yet. I wanted to check it out this summer and never had the chance. They do NASCAR championship races every Saturday in the summer there, and I just couldn't catch one. I was so busy. It just started a new Crown Vic class this year. It's sponsored by Everett's Auto Parts, which is the local junkyard, which I also have a YouTube video of me checking out the Panther section at that junkyard. So I think those races have been pretty good. I didn't get to catch one, or maybe I'll catch one next summer. Yeah, there's also a new Crown Vic class here in Massachusetts, actually. At the Crown Vic race at Hudson Speedway this summer, Sebastian introduced me to Ben Basowski. He's a really great guy. He actually owns all the speedways up in New Hampshire, and he just raced that day too. He was just hanging out and just participated in the races. I'm not sure if he has a social media account, but I have met him, and he's a great guy. So that's who's running all the speedways and keeping them alive up there in New Hampshire. And lastly, I just ran across a woman, a young lady by the name of Sierra Herden. She's from Missouri. She's a licensed realtor. That's what she does full time, and she races Crown Vics on the weekend in her spare time. She just got into it probably a few months before I met her, and that was this summer. And she's doing really well. She's getting sponsors, and her car is really cool. She just rewrapped it. I'll link her social media and a couple of her videos that she just uploaded recently here on this video. I drove to Chicago back in May to host a meet with Panther OCF and Bad Luck Crown Vic. 85 Panthers showed up to that event. That video is also here on the YouTube channel. And the founder of OCF, one of the founders, Nigel Burnett, he actually sponsored, Panther OCF is actually a sponsor of Sierra and her racing now. They cover her fuel and a couple of other things. So that's pretty cool. What's also cool is that Sierra has her first racing t-shirt, and I have it here. She had a contest on her Instagram for people to win a free one, and ironically I won a free one through the contest, and she put her signature on the t-shirt too. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what the t-shirt looks like. So here's the t-shirt, here's the back of it. It's really cool. That's Sierra Herden, number 8. And again, she does real estate in Missouri. So if you're ever looking for a house or looking to sell a house in Missouri, Sierra is who you want to reach out to. And I've had this shirt for a couple of weeks now, and I knew that Nigel was a sponsor, but I didn't notice that his logo was on the t-shirt. So big shout out to Panther OCF. And this is the front of the t-shirt. It's really cool. His signature there. I may not even actually wear this shirt. I think I'm just gonna frame it and put it in my office because this is kind of legendary. So big thanks to Sierra. Congratulations to Panther OCF on the sponsorship for her racing. Major shout out to all the guys and women that are racing these Crown Vics. That's really cool. In my opinion, I think it's awesome. Everybody's telling me I should get into racing. I have some work I need to do, but maybe one day I will get into racing. I definitely want to do it. I think it'll be awesome. And I just want to know if you guys have any experience checking out the local Crown Vic races, or if you guys have heard of any in your area. I'd love to hear so in the comments. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.